The decision by the Trump administration to pause or cancel billions of dollars in infrastructure and clean energy funding, primarily targeting projects in Democrat-led states during a government shutdown, represents a significant political and policy action. This move immediately became a flashpoint, drawing strong criticism from Democrats who viewed it as a politically motivated and vindictive measure. The projects affected include major transit upgrades in cities like New York and Chicago, and a wide array of clean energy initiatives across numerous states. Summary and analysis. The core of the issue is a sudden freeze or termination of substantial federal funding for various projects, most notably transportation projects. Funds for major transit initiatives, such as the $16 billion Gateway Tunnel project and the $7 billion Second Avenue subway extension in New York and the Red Line extension in Chicago, approximately $2.1 billion, were paused or placed under review. Clean energy grants. Approximately $8 billion in grants for clean energy projects, including those for battery plants, hydrogen technology, and electric grid upgrades, were canceled across 16 states that voted for President Biden's running mate, Kamala Harris, in the 2024 election. Water infrastructure. Over $11 billion in Army Corps of Engineers water infrastructure projects in a dozen Democrat-controlled states were also paused for review. Administration officials, including White House Budget Director Russ Vought, cited several justifications. Primarily, they framed the pauses as a way to pressure Democrats to end the government shutdown, saying the standoff had drained the Army Corps of Engineers' ability to manage billions of dollars in projects. Other official justifications included a review of funding to ensure it was not flowing via race-based contracting, referencing policies like diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, and determining if projects were economically viable or adequately advanced the nation's energy needs. Energy Secretary Chris Wright defended the clean energy cuts as business decisions and an effort to protect taxpayer dollars. Conversely, Democrats and critics condemned the action as a blatant use of federal funding as a political weapon. They argued that infrastructure and clean energy investments should be determined by need and economic benefit, not political opposition. Senator Chuck Schumer called the obstruction stupid and counterproductive, because the projects create tens of thousands of jobs and are essential for a strong regional and national economy. Reasons and consequences. Reasons for the shelving. The primary reasons for shelving these projects appear to be a mixture of political strategy and policy reprioritization. Political leverage in government shutdown. President Trump openly linked the cuts to the ongoing government shutdown, stating the administration could cut favorite projects of Democrats to inflict pain and pressure Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and others to concede on appropriations. Policy reversal and reprioritization. The move aligns with the Trump administration's broader policy agenda, which emphasizes fossil fuel production and exports, deregulation, and a reduced focus on climate programs and grants, often referred to derisively as Green New Scam funding. The projects cut heavily targeted clean energy and urban mass transit, sectors prioritized by the previous administration. Fiscal and constitutional review. The administration also stated a need to ensure financial viability and to review projects for unconstitutional practices, referencing race-based contracting and DEI principles, reflecting a pushback against certain progressive policies. Consequences. The immediate and potential long-term consequences are significant, extending beyond the political sphere. Economic disruption and job loss. Freezing multi-billion-dollar projects immediately halts work, leading to potential mass layoffs for contractors, construction workers, and associated staff. This uncertainty hurts the economy through delayed investment and spending. Impact on critical infrastructure. Delaying or canceling major transit projects like the Gateway Tunnel or the Chicago Red Line extension is a major setback for millions of commuters, potentially worsening congestion, environmental impact, and the overall efficiency of regional economies. Setback for climate goals. The cancellation of nearly $8 billion in clean energy grants undermines efforts to develop battery plants, hydrogen technology, and upgrade the electric grid, weakening the U.S. position in the global clean energy marketplace and potentially driving up energy costs. Legal challenges and uncertainty. Affected cities like New York and Chicago may file lawsuits, arguing they followed federal law in winning competitive grants. Regardless of the outcome, such litigation and delays will inevitably increase project costs. Erosion of public trust. Critics argue that reneging on federal commitments, especially on competitive grants, weakens the trust between local and federal governments and introduces significant political risk into long-term infrastructure planning. Prediction and solutions. Prediction. The future of these paused and canceled projects is highly uncertain and will largely depend on the duration of the government shutdown and the administration's resolve. Roads and bridges over rail and transit. The new administration's focus is predicted to shift toward traditional infrastructure like highways, roads, and bridges, reflecting a preference for projects in rural and suburban areas over urban mass transit. Projects already under the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, IIJA, will likely continue until its expiration in 2026, but new funding for rail and transit may be flat or reduced. Energy priorities. Funds from the Inflation Reduction Act that have not yet been obligated are vulnerable to redirection, leading to a scale-up of oil, gas, and nuclear energy projects, while alternative energy efforts face attempted defunding. Project continuity and legal battles. While the president has spoken of termination, some administration officials have contradicted this, suggesting major projects like the Gateway Tunnel are still alive. This signals an internal debate or strategic ambiguity. The ultimate fate of many projects, especially those with competitive grants, may be decided in court. Solutions for state and local governments and Congress. Potential solutions to mitigate the impact and secure long-term investment include legal action. Cities and states with projects that won competitive grants have the option to sue the federal government, arguing they fulfilled all requirements and that the withdrawal of funds is illegal. Alternative financing. State and local governments will be forced to explore alternative financing mechanisms to avoid project collapse. This includes increasing reliance on private capital, public-private partnerships, tolling, municipal bonds, and innovative financing methods like the Transportation Infrastructure and Innovation Act, TIF loans, or, where allowed, mechanisms similar to the former Build America bonds, BABs. Congressional action. Congress could seek to pass a targeted emergency appropriations bill that specifically protects and obligates funds for the projects currently being targeted, overriding the administrative hold. Regulatory streamlining. The administration's focus on cutting red tape through policies like the One Federal Decision, OFD approach, could ironically be a solution for new projects by accelerating approval times, even as existing projects face defunding.